they never tell you this. That the biggest shifts in your life won't feel like fireworks. They won't feel like celebrations, they will feel like silence, like confusion, like standing in the middle of a room you've lived in for years, and suddenly realizing the walls don't fit anymore. Before we go further, please subscribe. Not for me, not for numbers, but so you can keep returning to reminders like this. Reminders that align you with the version of yourself you're becoming. It's not that the old life was wrong. It's just expired. The frequency that once held you is no longer yours. And something deep within whispers, it's time to jump, not physically, not symbolically, but quantumly. Most people hear the phrase quantum jumping and think it's a metaphor, a fancy way of saying think positive or imagine a better future. But what if it's not metaphorical at all? What if it's a real, measurable phenomenon? A sudden relocation of self so exact, so complete, that you don't walk a path to get there. You simply appear. In quantum mechanics, they call it a discontinuous transition. An electron doesn't slide step by step into a new orbit. It vanishes from one state and reappears instantly in another, the very moment enough energy is absorbed. That's not poetry. That's physics. And what if you, as a vibrational being entangled with infinite timelines, operate in the same way? What if every urge to break free, every pull to let go, every restlessness you've ever felt wasn't just emotional noise, but your field preparing to jump? Think about it. How many times in your life have you felt it? The job you couldn't stand one more day. The relationship that suddenly felt too heavy for you to carry. The role you were playing that no longer matched the person you were becoming. And then, one moment, without planning, without calculation, you chose. You quit. You walked away. You shifted. And the air itself felt different. Your body felt lighter. The silence that followed wasn't emptiness. It was space. Space for the new frequency to emerge. Here's the truth most people don't realize. Your soul decides first. Your mind only tries to catch up. That's why transformation feels like chaos, because you're clinging to an identity that is already dissolved. And the only thing that delays the jump is your attachment to how it should happen. But quantum jumps don't follow logic. They don't ask for explanation. They only need coherence. They only need a decision so clear, so strong, that it vibrates louder than your fear. That's when the field responds. That's when the jump locks in. You felt it before, the instant relief after ending something that had quietly been draining you for years. The freedom of no longer explaining yourself. The first breath of a new life, where, for the first time, you didn't have to justify why. Those weren't gradual shifts. They weren't progressions you could measure on a chart. They were leaps, quantum leaps, not marked in your calendar, but encoded in your signal. And the reason you didn't see proof right away wasn't because nothing happened. It was because the field was still reorganizing itself around your new coordinates. Because that's how reality works. The moment you choose, not wish, not hope, but truly choose, a new state of being, the quantum field begins to rearrange itself. The challenge is not in making the jump. It's in holding the frequency long enough for reality to catch up. Because if you can hold the signal, even when the outside world hasn't yet changed, that's when the shift becomes visible. That's when the new timeline locks in. Here's the truth. Most people don't fail to transform because they lack desire. They fail because they don't understand the mechanics of a jump. They think the discomfort, the silence, the chaos that shows up afterward means they did something wrong. But in quantum terms, it means the field is recalibrating. You don't lose relationships, jobs, or habits because you're cursed. You lose them because they no longer match the frequency you've chosen. And the field, precise and impartial, clears away everything that cannot follow. That isn't punishment, it's realignment. So how do you anchor the jump? How do you hold the frequency long enough for reality to reshape around you? It's not about forcing or waiting for perfect conditions. It's about shifting your broadcast over and over until the signal stabilizes. Think of it as a ritual, not a ritual of candles or steps, but a ritual of energy. There are 5 simple postures that make the difference between collapsing back into the old self and holding steady in the new. Let's call it the broadcast shift. Step 1. Recognize the discomfort. Every time fear, impatience, or self-doubt rises, don't label it as failure. See it for what it is: static. The static between your current frequency and the one you're tuning into. Most people interpret this as a no. But in truth, it's a signal that you're on the edge of the jump. Step 2. Interrupt the pattern. When old emotions take over, your body wants to replay the familiar story. That story is a frequency, and if you keep rehearsing it, you'll keep broadcasting it. The power move is to interrupt it. Change your posture, change your breath. Speak out loud. Do something physical to break the loop. Neuroscience shows us this is the fastest way to free your nervous system from the grip of the past. Step 3. Embody the frequency of your future. Ask yourself, if I already had what I desire, how would I feel right now? And then feel it. For 90 seconds, for 3 minutes, for however long it takes. Not pretending, not faking, but letting that vibration soak into your nervous system until your body believes. Because the field doesn't respond to your wishes. It responds to your signal. Step 4. Take aligned action. Quantum jumping isn't about sitting in silence and waiting. It's about acting from the new frequency. Maybe it's sending the message your old self was too scared to send. Maybe it's drawing a boundary. Maybe it's choosing a different thought. It doesn't matter how small. What matters is that the action is consistent with the self you've already chosen to become. That's when entanglement happens. That's when the field begins to mirror proof back to you. Step 5. Detach from the timeline. This is the hardest step, because the moment you look around for results, you've left the signal. The instant you demand proof, you collapse back into fear. Real jumping means staying in frequency, even when the outside world is silent. Especially then, because that silence is not absence. It's recalibration. This is the space most people misinterpret. They think nothing's happening. But in truth, everything is happening. The field is reorganizing. Old patterns are dissolving. Timelines are collapsing. And new realities are aligning around you. Imagine changing the radio dial. For a moment, you hear static. The old station fades. The new station hasn't locked in yet. But if you hold the dial steady, the new frequency comes through clear. If you panic and spin it back, you only return to the old noise. That's how most people live. They mistake the static for failure instead of recognizing it as transition. But when you hold the broadcast, when you stop blinking, when you refuse to collapse back into the old, something inevitable happens. The shift lands, and your life begins to echo it back to you. Not all at once, not always in obvious ways, but through synchronicities, through sudden clarity, through moments that feel too perfect to be coincidence. Because here's the paradox. The less you chase the result, the faster it arrives. Why? Because chasing is a signal of separation. It tells the field, it's not mine yet. But embodying is a signal of coherence. It says, this is who I am now. And the field cannot resist that vibration. So ask yourself, right now, in this moment, what am I broadcasting? Am I radiating the future or rehearsing the past? Because the field does not measure your intentions. It mirrors your consistency. And here's the invitation. Stop waiting for proof. Stop asking if it's working. Instead, return to your signal again and again until your nervous system calls it home. That is how timelines stabilize. That is how the jump becomes irreversible. So if something stirred in you while listening, if you felt a flicker of recognition, a pulse of truth you can't quite explain, that is your field moving. That is your coherence rising. That is your jump preparing to lock in. Please subscribe, not just to support this channel, but to support yourself, to stay connected to the reminders that keep you in frequency, that keep you choosing the new self again and again, until the universe has no choice but to follow.